And we are live. Good morning. There we go. Love flying magnets. Who doesn't? Tip it up a little bit. All right. Do a little bit of gap filling. Hey, Tom. Morning. Morning, Tom. What's going on, brother? Anyway. And though the doggy will be worked on, it's kind of what we got right now. That is what we got. Oh, no, it's him again. Peter, and I use that term loosely. What's going on, man? All right, let's get some coffee tossed in. It's that first jolt of coffee that's always the good one. Just trying to figure out how much of this should I've actually used. It is he. It is I. Hey, Joe. Good morning. Just laying down a fillet here. There we go. Yeah, that stuff is definitely not quite as thin as it once was. Did you get the rash taken care of? I did. I fleshed it. I got rid of it. You guys are so funny. And somehow I want to torture myself every morning by doing this. Oh, the abuses I take at your hands. It made you smile. That's worth it. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, again, isn't that the sign off every day? It's basically, that's what it's all about. It's just about, just have fun. You know, if people actually took a moment just to have a little bit of a modicum of enjoyment in life, I think life would be so much better. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not delusional in thinking that all of life is good, but you know, we can at least start with trying to make life good. I guess it's just never been in my nature to, and Peter, I appreciate you actually bringing this up, because you're right. It's just never been in my nature to try to, wallow in misery. Damn, it's 18 Fahrenheit. Oh yeah, it is freaking group hugs in the showers. Right. It's never been in my nature to, try to be miserable and try. In fact, one of the things I'm trying to do is become a lot more like in life, you get what you get. But, I always look at it as, look, life has been good. It has not been perfect. You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. And so far that has been the case. and not complaining, and to think about, dealing with a number of incredibly people who've done very well for themselves. And I look at many of them and how some of them are very happy, joyous, doing good with what they're doing with their lives, and other people are just miserable. And you've got everything. So what does that say? Is this the grumpy old man speech? I don't think so. Had water line frozen last night. Thankfully, the resident called ASB was able to fix it without a broken water line. Wow, yeah, that's a good thing, Joe, right? Ooh. Hey, Ken, good morning. No, in fact, Peter, I think it's kind of the opposite. I think it's a matter of, we don't. It's look. I understand that as you start getting older, you can get grumpier, and God knows, I'm certainly feeling that in some degrees. But no, the point is not that. The point is to try to remember that there's, think about the good in life. Think about the good in life. My wife and I were this past weekend when we were down at the at the university, and we're sitting. We went to the basketball games this weekend at Quinnipiac, and we're sitting right at midcourt, and over to the right side. Our daughter and the dance team were all just kind of huddled there. And again, they were, anytime some kind of action happened, they were sitting there and cheering on. They had different routines for all that stuff. But in between, they would just kind of, do their own dance thing, and they would talk amongst themselves. And we were observing our daughter and a couple of her friends. And every time the music came, songs came up, and they would start to sing to them. And my wife and I looked at each other and said, we have no idea who the song is, but it seems like she knows the lyrics to everything. And I thought to myself, it's like, wow, this crappy music that these kids listen to, that's the gut thought that came up. And then right immediately after that, it's like, I'm sure that's exactly what my parents thought, when they were listening to the stuff that my sister and I would listen to in the car. And my parents would put the radio on and play our music, what we wanted to listen to, much to their chagrin. And you know what? That brings enjoyment to them, because I'm watching her dance and sing to this, and she was really into it. And just because we don't like something doesn't mean it's wrong. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's like, you know what? It is what it is. And you know what? Let them enjoy their thing. Hey, Tony, good morning. What's going on, brother? Got to open up your mind. Yeah. And to things that you may, it's not even open up your mind to things that you might like. You have to open up your mind to things you may not like. And I think that's a very deep and troubling thing and right now, and this has kind of been top of mind, especially considering what just happened with Rob Reiner. There are things in life that we can't control, and we're not going to like, and that's okay. Life continues to move on. Late start to the morning today for me anyways. Yeah, don't worry about it. It happens. God knows Tony, how many times have I started this show? 20 past? A little off from the 6 a.m. start time. I'm enjoying most of the music these days. Yeah, see, I don't care for a lot of the pop stuff that's out there, but at the same time, it's like, I don't have to like it. That's, I think, the mistake that I think people make. It's if there's a movie out there, and we, and I know, look, I'm a bit of a pig when it comes to movies. If there's a movie or music or a type of food or whatever, look, you don't have to like it. Just let other people enjoy it, and that's okay. That is A-OK. Okay. So real quickly, this is now all put together. We are now going to put corner molding on. Someone suffering from main character syndrome? Yeah. You're going up, up, up. It's our moment. Doghouse is looking good. Thank you, Tony. You know, together we're glowing. Gonna be golden. What the hell is that from, Tom? Okay. Let's. Anyway. Yeah, I've kind of been happy that I haven't done the 6 a.m. Excuse me, the Thursday night thing, the OSG Unleashed thing, though. You know, maybe beginning of the year I'll get back to it. Okay, and maybe that'll be a time to start, venting some of this stuff. But at the same time, it's actually been good just kind of focusing on models a little bit. All right, let's get 2 of those cut. I think I drink, therefore I am. I'm going to put a piece of styrene underneath here to brace it. Just got to get a piece of styrene. Give me a second, guys. Come on. God, it's hard to hold this stuff. I need a thicker piece. Let's see what we got here. Hey, good morning, Emma. How are you? K-pop Demon Hunters. I know nothing about that. I know that there are a lot of people who have enjoyed it. At least one of my kids has. How are you, Emma? Happy, what's today? Tuesday? Happy Tuesday. Thompson's more like a Suja boy. Are we going up, 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 Tom? Seems like you, Suja boy. The mighty repeat must retreat to the back seat of the complete trash heap. He deplete the sheep to be turned into enough rhyming for now. Wow. That was actually impressive, Peter. Damn. What happened to your chopper, too? It's collecting dust somewhere over here. Why? It is going to find another home soon. It will find another home very soon. It's the same size, so screw it. We're going to use that. Why do you ask? Okay. That actually helped out quite a bit. Just braced underneath so it didn't crush the L. Why'd you abandon it? It had, the first thing is it just it didn't have a spring to it, so when you raised it, you literally had to hold it up with something, prop it up the blade with something. It was also just, in my opinion, just a little too sloppy in the way that it cut things. Also, the angling guides on it, not quite what I would hope for. So this thing has been an improvement. Is it perfect? No. Is it better? Yes. If you have a chopper, would I think that this would be a worthwhile upgrade? Maybe. This was not inexpensive. I was fortunate at the time to have a little extra coin, so that's why I went with it. The angle guide sucks too. You're talking about on the chopper too. Yeah, because it doesn't exist. Whereas on this thing, you get a lot more flexibility. If you try to find it, we get to scream, get the chopper. Oh, all the time. We used to say that all the time. Get to the chopper. If anybody's ever followed Michael Wine, Gundamonium works. He does a Schwarzenegger voice and says "Get to the chopper" all quite often. It is hilarious to hear. Okay. Let us do a couple things here. We're going to chop 4 of these things. This is the one thing where the chopper may actually do a little bit better in terms of being able to replicate. What did I do? Okay, I'm missing a part of this thing. Give me a second here. If you're trying to find it, we hit the screen, get to the chopper, get to the chopper. Wait, what the F happened to Rob Reiner? He and his wife were killed. Yep, they were killed. Horrifying. Oh, this is going to work perfectly, actually. Great. There we go. Right there. I stand corrected. This thing actually might do exactly what I need it to do. There we go. All right. Open this up. We're going to cut 4 pieces. Is that what happened? Murdered by their son, supposedly. Yeah, allegedly killed by their son. Yeah, hard to imagine. One. I'm going to cut 4 of these things. See that I made all my favorite movies. Yeah. Got it about Reiner. Wish Trump would have shut the fuck up about it. I don't that, and I think, guys, here's the thing. This is not to make it a political conversation. I don't care if you thought that Rob Reiner was the greatest movie maker, actor, or not. I don't care if you liked his politics or not. What our president said after he was killed was despicable. And this is not a political conversation. This is you saying what you just said just shows what lack of humanity you have. Complete lack of humanity. And it bothered me to hear that. Look, we've seen a lot of people getting killed and assassinated, and it pains me to see anybody killed for whatever reason. You know, we just had a shooting here I'm sorry if we're going to get a little dour here. We just had a shooting in Providence, Rhode Island. That's just down the street from us. And any type of killing is horrific. But when you have a killing that's, as it happened with Mr. Reiner and his wife, and then to have somebody kind of gloat over that, that's not a good thing. That just really shows you how despicable a heart you have. Heinous words. Yep. His reference to is just as bad. Yep. Yes. Yeah. Again, I was saddened when, and I hated that man. And it doesn't matter because what happened to him was despicable. We're talking about Charlie Kirk. But to hear the president now say these vile and venomous things about another human being because you didn't care for them, it just shows you where your heart really is. You know. And guys, I'm not trying to. Again, please understand. I'm not trying to make this into a political conversation. This is about what's in people's hearts. This is 100% about what's in people's hearts. And it's painful to hear that. Almost there. I'm just trying to. What I'm using is I'm using a little piece of strip to just add a little bit more body to this thing so it doesn't collapse. I've now got 4. I'm going to cut 1 more. Shooting is just as bad. Yeah, he's just a heinous individual. Kindness isn't political. That's exactly the point. I should have stand by on my watch. Yeah. I mean, who the fuck says things? These things didn't happen. Some supporter, but what Trump said about Reiner was wrong. Reiner was out talking about Kirk in a way you didn't hear other leftists talk about it, and I respected Reiner. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I heard Tony, excellent point. I heard him speak about afterward and the words that he heard from Charlie's wife and what he said. And that's the it doesn't matter if you're on the left or on the right. This is what dictates what is really going on. And if you have any empathy for humanity, any political shooting is wrong. Anything that's, or any kind of assassination or death of somebody in a tragic fashion is a terrible thing. And we should be sitting there and saying, this has got to stop. This is uncalled for. Yeah. And you know, the unfortunate thing is this continues to just, I don't know. I truly hope, you know, I believe in in some ways, maybe my infantile belief is that I love A Christmas Story. You know, I think it's such a beautiful story of redemption. I also know that it is not one of those things that happens typically with human beings, right? People don't just suddenly have these epiphany moments, right? I just realized I cut the wrong one. Damn it. Did I? How many are in here? 3? Maybe not. Give me a second, guys. No, it's the right one. Oh, thank God. No wasted plastic. I don't believe that people are going to have epiphany moments. I think, you know, once you do certain things, it's kind of baked into your character. But you kind of pray and hope that people do have epiphany moments. I'm not expecting our president to have those. I don't expect that suddenly he is going to develop a compassionate heart. And unfortunately, we're now seeing that in full bloom. He needs his glasses. I'm not trying to be political, but as a human, Trump was 100% wrong. Exactly. And Tony, that's all it is. That's exactly the point. This has nothing to do with politics. This is all to do with humanity, about just being a decent person and having true sympathy and empathy for a family that has suffered a terrible loss in a heinous way. I literally hate someone, but when you represent a nation, there's time and place. No, I don't. You know, guys, maybe this is my feeling too. I don't think there's room in the world for hate. I don't, and I've met people in my life personally. In particular, I think about one guy that I worked with. I've every now and then wished evil on him, and then I pull that back because I try not to have that level of hate in me. We should not have hate in us. We're all entitled to our own opinions, but yeah, exactly. Or at least just, you know what? Just do the right thing. Say something kind and then move on. Doesn't have to be anything more than that. Hey, Austin, what's going on, brother? So things because he likes to disregard opposite the people he is supposed to lead. Gloating over the death of an artist is just kind of pathetically sad. Exactly. That's exactly it. But it doesn't matter who it is. Gloating over anybody's death, or gloating over the harm of anyone, or having a lack of care for anyone. It says more about you than it does about anybody else, about your character. Please remember anything you want. Not just necessarily for with no skin in the game. No one has to justify their political beliefs to me. That just made me sad. Yep. There are very few people in the world that can honestly say I hate. Yeah, I try, Tony. I'm the same way. There's one person I work with who absolutely, I think, as our relationship got further along, he wished me harm. And when I finally left the company that I was working for after a number of years, it was because I think he poisoned the well so badly. It's like I just, but even this guy, it's like I don't wish you harm. Go off and do your thing, and hopefully you will find some level of decency in you at some later point. Personally, I don't care if I see you again, but I'm not going to wish you harm. You're out of my life, thank God. Yet you hate IG. Sure, if you want. Sure, Tom. Forget about addressing a pressing issue like addiction. Just lambast the poor guy. Yeah, exactly. And again, I don't know the full story. I'm hoping that like I said, I don't typically follow the lives of actors and other people. I don't care. You're an actor. That's your job. God bless you that you've made it into a career. Awesome. And I wish you all the best. I do. I mean, it's like, hey, if you can do that, that's great. I don't know what happened with how this came about, but I do hope that justice will be found in a way that that brings meaning to this meaningless situation. And with that being said, all right, so we've now cut a bunch of L's. Going to glue them all on, and then we're going to shape them afterward. So what we're going to have basically these corner pieces just to give it a little bit of character and to clear up some of the messiness. Oh, this doesn't matter really. Hey, what's going on, Dwayne? Good morning. Day 2. I love it. To me, no one alive is worth the effort. They become nothing and literally meaningless to me instead. Yeah, not worth the effort. You know, and Tony, I'm sorry, Peter, I apologize. Peter, you bring up a very valid point. One of the things that we can sit there, and I remember how much anger I had towards the company that I was just talking about, the company that I left for the longest time. And it's like, to what point? Why am I putting all this mental energy into this thing? When, why don't you put it into coming up with something more creative, right? Absolutely. So on another topic, I sprayed some of the G paint last night for the first time, and it is honestly not bad paint. Nice. Glad I picked up 2 metallic bundles from the huge discount. New type, $24 a set. Cool. Hey Nick, good morning. What's going on, brother? Tony, question: G paint. I know very little about it. I'm assuming it's a lacquer paint. Okay, let's start gluing some of these things down. And what I want to do is just set that one aside. I'm going to extend just a little bit beyond. That way I can grind it down nice and flush. finger out of the way so I don't get any. There we go. It's funny, I can't remember what we're talking about, but just, the number of paints that are out there today is just absolutely absurd. And it is pre-thinned lacquer. Pre-thinned lacquer, nice. Hey, Peter. It's probably the last batch of that Studio G release. Got it. Okay. Nice. Okay. One bit of trim on. And again, if you see the top of it, we're just going to sand it down, file it down after it's all dry. The colors red, blue, and yellow are very, very thin. Is that a good thing? Studio G out of the frying pan into the fire. It's a lacquer from the old G Studio guy. It comes pre-thin, 60 milliliter bottles. That's big. G paint for like old clubs and bikes. Tom, seeing all the hot topics today. Oh, why not? Golf clubs. Yeah. I'm thinking we're not going to do that. I'm hoping we are not going to do that. Actually, let me do this. Oh, we've kind of got that done. Let's take a few photos. In fact, let's leave the props out so people see props. You're right. Now let's see where we were. I figured I waste $25 on super stuff every day, so why not try it out? I feel that, you know what, Tony? I feel the same way. Like, there are certain tools that I try out. It's like, let me just give these things a try. Spend a few bucks, see if they make sense. And if they do, great. I mean, there have been tools that I picked up, and it's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use this much. And there are other tools that are like, oh my God, they become indispensable. That I touched thin cement. A little bit of a fingerprint. That's okay. Easy enough to fix. There we go. Two sides done. And again, if you take a look at the top, you can actually see that I just got that corner up at the top there. I'll clip those corners afterward once this is all dry, just to get the right shape. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not Gaia paint, but it works okay for the price, and it never hurts to have extra paint around. Yeah, absolutely. How about the Kaleido line of gallery paints? Try them out. Got to be adventurous sometimes, Tony. Yep. Everyone, their holiday shopping? Actually, Ken, I'll flip it around. Have you? Oh, God, no. I've got most of my holiday shopping done, which is good. My daughter and I are going to when she comes home this weekend, since she's got this is my daughter down at university. She's coming home this weekend, and then next week we'll go shopping. She's got school's over, but they're doing practicing, dance team practice, and they also have a basketball game this weekend. No rest for the athletes. I think I can also officially say, I don't think I've said it yet. My older daughter also is going to a different job. She is a preschool teacher, and she was getting a little frustrated with where she was at. So she applied for a school much closer to home, literally just down the street from us. And it comes with more pay, and it's hopefully going to be a mentally better thing for her. So all good stuff. What is the other pre-thin? Yeah, Splash I've heard of. One of the guys in the Discord group tried those, and he said they spray like a lacquer and are pretty good. I'm almost done. Went to Ulta yesterday, so I'm flat, bro. Oh, Ulta. Yeah. Did you pick up any stuff for yourself there, Ken? You know, they've got really good little like brushes for things like the Tamiya weathering powders. You can pick those up for free. I need to get a haircut, and I'll be done for Christmas. Really? Is that a gift for others? You're getting your haircut? Okay, paint. So try it. When it first came out, my biggest complaint is the price of the amount of paint you get. SMS is the same. It is a good paint, but 30 milliliter bottle are kind of expensive. Yeah. Nice. Congrats. I got a few of those Tamiya powders. Yeah, those are great. Sadly, nothing for myself, man. That was a mistake, Tom. I mean, Ken. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm very happy for her. I think she's going to be in a better place too. And what's the worst that happens? You don't like it? Find someplace else. She's in a field right now that is always looking for teachers, so it's a good thing. All right, we are almost done here. It is amazing how quickly one can kill a bottle of thin cement. I do not use it in halves, that's for sure. There we go. All right. All of it's now framed over. Tomorrow we will start working on the Bye, Mom, love you. Bye, honey. Love you too. I'll see you tonight. Later, fellas. Time for work. All right, Nick. Good luck today, brother. May it be a peaceful and easy day for you. What was I going to say? I want to show a tool. So, I've talked about this guy before. I'm not sure what James is doing now, but when I first got back into the hobby, I met a number of people who were very helpful in kind of getting me to just look at new stuff. It's easy to kill thin cement. I accidentally killed one by leaving the cap unscrewed. Yeah, that'll do it. There's Zoe. Thanks, Kat. But one of the guys that I followed, if anybody remembers, I'm not sure how many of you guys remember these guys. Shane, James, oh God, Jesus, I can't believe the guy down in Rhode Island, and Rob, the four horsemen of the mech apocalypse or whatever they call themselves. Gonna cut back with the new year. I sniff a bottle of this. Nice. James and Rob are from Australia, and these guys, James is, I think he got shafted. He should have won GBWC, personal opinion, GBWC Australia on multiple occasions. His workmanship is off the chain, incredible. He hasn't, I think he's kind of moved on to either minis or figure painting or something else, but he is no longer doing Gundam as much. But on his, let me see if I can dig him up. He went by, I'm being creative. I knew him as Nozaku Boy. He hasn't posted anything on YouTube in 6 years. But really quickly, I just watched this again. Magnetic angle clamps. First of all, I'm being creative. I do recommend you take a look at his stuff. Yes, it is not new, but the angle clamps, he 3D printed angle clamps. And these are great for being able to allow universally to set larger pieces. I mean, I've got a tool for that, but it's usually for smaller stuff. But if you want to do larger stuff to kind of create whatever angle of things coming together that you want. So he's got a free 3D printed file of how he made that. I think he got disqualified because he was thinking about Kotobukiya while building. Yeah, could be. That was actually one of our guys up here that had that happen. Not new doesn't mean not good. Absolutely. James's work, if you guys ever see this diorama that he did, and you almost had to follow the entire build. He did a build of a goof flight type coming through a city that was being about to be ambushed by a bunch of Federation tanks. The detail he put into that cityscape, just the city, the diorama, impressive. And if you followed his construction work on the goof, he took the raw goof and turned it into something absolutely unbelievable. To me, that was one of the revelatory things in discovering how he was one of the guys who's very instrumental in how to think outside of what's in the box. I'd love to, I might actually message him too. I'm not sure what he's doing right now. But anyway, his workmanship was just absolutely spectacular. But he was also like a tool god. Like this guy would go to Japan and go out and buy tools and come back and talk about these tools. And you'd be like, I need that in my life. And lo and behold, a lot of the stuff that I've bought since has been because of James. Or he's gotten me to think about what tools are kind of necessary and what are not. Like I remember when he first got God hand drill bits, or when he picked them up or whatever. And he's like, you know what? They break easy, and he's replaced a few, but he's like, but these things are like the bee's knees. So, okay, I had a little extra coin. Let me try them out. And he's right. But he'd also find some really odd duck tools. And the next thing you know, it's absolutely not, they range anywhere from really beneficial to game changing. I love the smell of solvents in the morning. It smells of victory. But he was also Australian. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He and Rob, on the flip side, Rob was the weathering genius. Like this guy's paint work, particularly with weathering, he was the guy who got me into looking at weathering and the spectacular work that he did. So Shane was a bit of a construction guy. Rob was the painting guy. James was in many ways the vignette guy. And God, it's right on the tip of my tongue. Gumpla Geo. Gumpla Geo, he was the his finish work, his gloss finish work, and his that kind of stuff was minty fresh. So you had all four of these guys who became friends, and they had a show on for a short while, and it was excellent. And learned a lot from all of them. All right, this is done. Tomorrow, we're going to trim back on these corner pieces, and then we're going to start the roof itself. In fact, if I had, actually, you know what? That'll be fine. I'll be able to do that afterward. If I had that 3D printed tool that he had, I think I could actually make something. I could angle this thing quite nicely. And that's all right. Look, I've done things by hand before. Tools just make things a little easier. Anyway, so we'll get started on that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I think we're kind of in a good stopping point right now. Why is it I can't get anything else in there? Should be able to get 3 pens in there, but why is the one not going? There we go. Look, it's the White House, same assembled state at least. Yeah, nice. Yeah, kind of like. All right, so with that, I'm going to start. Maybe I'll call it early today. I guess I could. I can get ready for get into the office. It's really not much more I can do right now until this all dries, and then I'm going to sand it all down. So for the moment, this is kind of just in a holding pattern. I'll leave it upside down just to let the CA kind of flow down a little bit. There we go. That's kind of it, guys. That's all I got for you. That's all I got for you. Okay, I'll put some stuff away. Two things. Have a great day today, George and everyone. See you all later. Tony, you too, brother. Thanks for popping in. Thank you. Thank you. It's in better shape than the actual White House. Oh, can't wait to see what that looks like in the end. Ugh. Anyway. There we go. We have to get a couple of these things hung up again. A couple of my peg holders broke off. Getting those back on again soon. But all right, my friends, why don't we take things apart here. Sorry, I've got stuff just floating everywhere. Yeah, one of these days, after I'm done with this model, I think we'll do a little bit more kind of cleaning up a little bit, just sprucing up, rearranging. I think I did a nice job this last time, but it's getting a little dumpy again. But anyway, with that, guys, why don't we do a tune out now? We'll call it a little earlier than normal. But thank you for being on. I genuinely do appreciate it later, you glorious bastards. You guys have a great day out there. Can you too? But guys, go out there and brighten the world as much as you can. As we started talking this morning, there seems to be a lot of venom and energy towards hate and dislike and stuff like that. Push that stuff aside. Let's go out there and do what we do here every morning. Let's show the world that what we do here, which is to show kindness and love and respect, and even just some joviality, right? We'll poke fun at each other, and that's okay. But we do it in kindness and respect, right? So go out there and show that continuing goodness onto the real world. That's how we're going to change this into a better narrative. So anyway, love you all. Do good. I'll be back on. I will not be on tomorrow. I'll be back on Thursday. Tomorrow I'm going down to the Cape. But anyway, guys, do good. Enjoy the day. Love you all. And I'll catch you on the flip. Peace.